So have I. And Charles Spurgeon writes, "The language of the text also suggests to me that I should remind you that the love of Jesus was an ancient love. It is true that He loves us now. But Paul also wrote truly, 'Who loved me.' The verb is in the past tense. Jesus loved me on the cross, loved me in the manger of Bethlehem, loved me or ever the earth was. There never was a time when Jesus did not love His people." Do think of it. Now, you're not going to get much sleep if you do. But do think of it. Look what he's saying. There never was a time when God did not love His people. When the people of God were not in the mind of God. Think about that. An eternal love. People are always amazed that, in theory, just space, you just go on forever. To largeness, to greater largeness, to something larger and larger and larger. But what also amazes me is, if that's true, you also regress to smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. It's not just that time goes on forever, it's that it's always been. The idea to me that God will love me forever in heaven is a very special truth. But I think even more special is that He has always loved me. Now think about that. Do you want to talk about adding stability? Adding stability to your Christian life? I trust the love of my wife much more now after so many years than I have reason to trust after our honeymoon. His is ancient love for you. Look at this. Some of you, like me, prior to your conversion, you gave yourself to sin and debauchery and every sort of wicked thing. Now think about this. He loved you. Even then, He set His love upon you. Before you were born, before the worlds were fashioned, before there was anything, He loved you. So do you think that love, if it didn't fluctuate then? Look at this. If He could set out, let's just use a timeline here. If He could love you for millions of years before you were ever born. Now, of course, that's a ridiculous figure, but we have to work with time. If He could love you when you were born in depravity, if He could love you all the days of your life in which you were in sin, rebelling against Him, hating Him, how does He love you now? How can you doubt that that would fluctuate? If He could love you, muster up enough love to send His Son, how much does He love you now? And this must be pressed upon people. It must be. It must be. This is a weak link in our Christianity today. And you say, well, if we press this unconditional love upon people, they won't take holiness seriously. No, ungodly church members will not take holiness seriously. But true believers, their hearts will be broken in a million pieces. That He should love us at all is a wonder. That He should have loved us always is a wonder of wonders. And this love is a part of His eternal purposes and is as old as His arrangements for the history of the universe. His love for you is that old. When He was setting out the arrangements for the history of the world, He set out His love for you. There is a sense in which even then He had you separated, set out for Him, and gave Himself up for me. The love of Christ's motivation, love was Christ's motivation for giving Himself up for us. Love. You know,